RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 5 is already in production, and judging by the queens and fan reactions from All-Stars 4, it seems that there needs to be a serious change to the show's format in order to further the show's success. So let's take a look at previous All-Star seasons and find out exactly how we got to this point, and why it's important that we do change the format for future All-Star seasons. If you haven't already listened to my podcast reviewing All-Stars 1, the link is down below. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the summer of 2012 and RuPaul's Drag Race had just finished airing their 4th season when they announced that they were going to be doing an all-star season. The season featured 12 returning contestants from season 1 through 4 for a chance to be inducted into the RuPaul's Drag Race Hall of Fame. Now, I will say that All-Stars 1 is a bit hard to judge because production was more forced into this format due to a small budget and overbooking on queens. They only had 6 episodes to feature 12 girls, so they decided to put a twist on the competition by making it a team effort to get to the finale. Contestants were judged on charisma, uniqueness, nerve, talent, and synergy. The way the eliminations took place were RuPaul announces which team is the winner and which teams had the weakest performances. The bottom 2 teams have to decide which one of them will represent their team in the lip sync. The lip syncs were twice as intense because the queens are not only just trying to save themselves, but their partners as well. They also introduced a button in the lip syncs where if the queen performing the lip sync was not performing well enough or she had a she-emergency, the partner can press that button and take over for the team in the lip sync. After the lip sync, RuPaul decides who stays and who leaves. It's safe to say that this format was terrible, and not only to the fans, but to the queens as well. 3 years and 4 seasons of Drag Race later, and the 2nd season of All-Stars was finally announced. I remember my reaction, my excitement, as I watched that episode of Season 8 and a commercial came on for All-Stars 2. I was gagged. They announced that they'd have a smaller cast consisting of only 10 returning contestants and a completely fresh take on the All-Stars format. In previous seasons, the 2 lowest performing queens had to lip-sync for their life to avoid elimination. This season has the 2 best performing queens of a challenge lip-sync for their legacy, with the winner of each lip-sync earning a $10,000 tip and choosing which one of the bottom queens to eliminate. It's important to note that Ru still has complete control of who lands in the bottom. This makes it so that the top queen can only eliminate those who did poorly in the challenge, and not just anybody willy-nilly. Another part of the format for All-Stars 2 was after the legacy lip sync, the bottoms are called back to the stage and the winner must reveal who she chose to go home. The eliminated queen must then sashay away. However, on their exit, RuPaul advised the first 4 eliminated queens that they will have an opportunity to come back for their revenge, with the winner gaining entry back into the competition. This format worked perfectly for the cast of All-Stars 2. Unfortunately, that can't be said for the cast of All-Stars 3 and 4. So what happened? What went wrong? Let's take a look at the production. After the success of All-Stars 2, production for more All-Star seasons went underway and fast. 3 years passed after the airing of All-Stars 2 and Drag Race has already filmed 3 regular seasons, 2 more All-Star seasons, and branched out to different countries around the world like Thailand and the UK. And if you didn't already hear me in the beginning, I said All-Stars 5 is already in production. Now, I don't know if it was just me, but when I heard the announcement of All-Stars 3, I was expecting a different twist on the show's format. Assuming how All-Stars 1 and 2 were so different, I thought All-Stars was going to be changing every season, but instead they decided to keep the Lip Sync for Your Legacy format, seeing as it did so well on All-Stars 2. But unfortunately, it didn't work out so well towards the end, and it definitely didn't work out for the cast of All-Stars 4. Although in my opinion, the format didn't get toxic until the comeback episode of All-Stars 3. That episode is where you can really see that it's just eating away at the queens, and Ben eliminated herself in order to not deal with it anymore. And it only goes downhill from there. Now, before we move on to All-Stars 4, I do want to say that I won't be talking about the jury of our queens, because I do see that as more of a twist than an actual format to the show. It could have been done on any season, and it doesn't really define this season other than the finale. Now let's move on to All-Stars 4. This season suffered the most from the legacy format. To start, most queens wanted to play it on what they called a report card, and that is basically how well they're doing in the competition overall. This is the easiest route they can take based on previous seasons. It keeps the competition fair for the most part, but it also kept it boring. Viewers called it predictable. Another downfall of this format is now that the queens have seen previous seasons use this format, they already have an idea of how they want to play the game, and it loses the authenticity that we actually got from All-Stars 2. In All-Stars 4, it's apparent that on multiple occasions the queens are scared to take a risk in the competition, whether it's challenging another queen's opinion or even picking a lipstick. These queens now talk through filters so they could come off a certain way. They make decisions based on fan favorites because they don't want the backlash. And when a queen does make a shocking decision, for example, Naomi eliminated Manila, she was attacked by rabid Manila fans and sent death threats. Now think to yourself, why would you want to go on a show when you know you're only going to be attacked? Some of you rabid fans may say that she shouldn't have eliminated Manila in the first place, and that's why we attacked her, and that's the solution. But the actual solution is that she was in the bottom, and it is fair to eliminate her because those are the rules. And that is exactly what I'm trying to get at. This format needs a facelift. For queens to want to continue to go on and be excited about the show, and for us to want to watch the show every episode, we're gonna need to see, I don't know, maybe a different format. In conclusion, I'm a huge fan of the show and I'm going to continue watching, but I do believe that for Drag Race All-Stars to continue to grow, the format does need to change. All-Stars 3 and 4 tried desperately to recapture the magic of its predecessor, but failed twice, and I'm scared that another go-around might come out with the same outcome, just another angry fans and an underwhelming season. Until All-Stars decides to change, we will keep getting our same overproduced queens, too scared to actually compete because of what fans might think. If this video offends you, then you probably didn't listen to it enough. Thank you guys for listening to me. Please comment down below whether you agree or not. I love listening to opinions that aren't my own. Also, if you have any ideas of what the next format should actually be, feel free to share that as well. Like this video if you do, and sub if you love it, and I'll TTYL.